Okay, let's unpack this. Seriously, a
Yeah.
full Linux computer.
Right.
But, get this. It's smaller than a U.S. passport photo.
It's pretty wild when you first see it.
My first thought was just, how?
Yeah.
How is that even possible? A complete computer and something that tiny.
Yeah.
We're talking 40 millimeters by 35 millimeters. A passport photo is, what, 51 by 51?
Bigger, yeah. Significantly.
So this thing is genuinely smaller. It's kind of amazing. Today we're diving into this miniature Linux computer and trying to figure out how they packed so much into, well, basically nothing.
And it really speaks to this incredible trend, doesn't it? Extreme miniaturization in computing.
Uh-huh.
It's not just shrinking for shrinking's sake. It changes where you can put computing power.
Right, like embedding it everywhere.
You think about sensors that don't just collect data, but, process it right there. Real-time decisions, less lag, less need to phone home to the cloud all the time.
Which is huge for things like robotics or autonomous systems.
Crucial. It's really core to the whole idea of edge computing.
That edge computing angle is fascinating. And looking at the specs, it seems surprisingly capable for its size. What stands out to you?
Well, first off, the source we looked at mentions it runs Ubuntu, specifically Ubuntu 16.04.6 LTS.
LTS. Long-term support, so stable.
Very stable, and that's important, right? If you're building this into something meant to last, you need that reliability. It's not some hacked together kernel. It's a proper Linux distribution.
On something you could lose in your pocket change.
Yeah.
And it's not just the OS, it's like packed with hardware. An ARM Mali-400 MP2 GPU.
Yeah, a graphics processing unit. Now, obviously, you're not playing Cyberpunk on it.
Oh, no, probably not.
But for a tiny display, maybe some basic UI elements, it's fine. More importantly, though, that GPU can potentially accelerate certain kinds of processing. Lightweight AI, maybe, or data analysis.
On the device itself.
Right at the edge. Object recognition, maybe simple stuff like that.
Okay, that's impressive. And it keeps going. It's got a motion sensor, an MPU 650.
Accelerometer and gyroscope combined, so it knows how it's moving, how it's oriented in space.
Which immediately makes you think robotics, wearables.
Anything where position or movement matters, yeah. Plus, it even has a microphone.
A mic, too.
Yeah.
Wow, so voice commands out of detection.
The potential's there. It's a really versatile little package.
It feels like they really thought about, how developers would actually use it. Connectivity must be decent then.
Oh, definitely. It's not just a novelty board. You've got the essentials onboard Wi-Fi and Bluetooth.
Expected these days, I guess.
True, but then you get the expansion options. SPI, I2C, UART. Those are like the standard ways embedded systems talk to each other.
And GPIO pins.
Yep.
General purpose input-output.
Yep. Lots of them, apparently. So you can hook up all sorts of custom sensors, actuators, whatever your project needs. It makes it a proper development tool.
Plus those 4 physical buttons they mentioned, boot, reset, recovery, and 1 for custom use.
Yeah, having physical input like that on the board itself is actually really handy for development and testing.
It brings it all together. And that source, the coding scientists on YouTube you mentioned, they claim they're using it for actual projects.
Yeah, real-time AI, robotics, IoT systems. That's the claim.
Now, our sources did point out there isn't a ton of independent proof for it being the absolute world's smallest tiny development board.
Right, titles like that are always hard to verify definitively.
But based purely on the specs we've discussed, the potential is clearly there. You can see how it could be used for that stuff.
Absolutely. The hardware seems capable enough on paper for those kinds of applications.
So, wrapping this up, the real aha moment for me in this deep dive is just the sheer contrast. This mind-bogglingly small size, 40 by 35 millimeters, smaller than that passport photo.
Yeah.
And yet it's crammed with the GPU, motion sensing, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a mic, running a full Linux OS on a screen you can actually read.
An IPS screen, yeah. Surprisingly decent, apparently.
It just opens up so many doors for compact smart devices. AI, robotics, IoT. It feels like a glimpse of the future.
It really does. And that leads to a pretty interesting question for you, the listener, to think about. If you can get this much computing power, this much capability onto something basically the size of your thumb, what could you build? What projects that used to need a big box or were just too complex to make portable could suddenly become feasible?
Yeah, embedded intelligence everywhere.
The possibilities are just starting to unfold. It's an exciting space to watch.